Hello, everyone. This is your preparation reading for the upcoming solar eclipse circle happening next week. And in this reading, we're going to talk about what needs to be healed. So, all the cards have been selected and they are in front of me. And in particular, this eclipse circle, we're going to be focused on healing relationships. So, that's all about relationship to ourselves, to the universe, to the spirit realm, to other people, and many other things. And with healing relationship blocks, when we heal things related to those things, it does heal abundance blocks because both relationship and abundance blocks are rooted in some levels this feeling of unworthiness of receiving love or abundance. So I have not looked at the cards, and we'll just get right into them and see what they want to talk about and what the creator has in mind to heal when we meet next week. So, starting with the moon cards here, and give me a moment to pick them up because there are quite a few piles of cards here. Because there are more people than usual, there are, of course, more cards. So let's get into these moon cards. Interesting. So I had a feeling that this upcoming eclipse is going to open quite a huge portal within the heart chakra. And when that happens, a lot of abundance could come in, opportunities for your soul's growth could come in. And so, what does that first card say? It says, prosperity lies ahead. So, this card has come out quite a few times in my one-on-one readings with clients. And when a card comes out repeatedly like that, it means that there's a main global theme, and this applies to everyone. So know that there is a lot of prosperity and abundance coming. However, eclipse season means all about releasing the old, healing trauma also, so that your heart chakra could open and invite in that love and abundance. So let's continue on and see what other energies that are coming. Have faith in your dreams. So there is, I'm hearing from a lot of your spirit guides about having to reassess and rewrite your manifestations, dreams, or goals, because whatever shift that you're going to feel or experience with this eclipse season, you're going to release this old part of you, these old belief systems that you need to go back and go, that goal doesn't quite align with me anymore. I need to change it a little bit. If you are unsure of how to change that goal or dream or manifestation, allow the integration to happen for a few days after the healing circle, and then an epiphany might come right through. You might get some insight, this aha moment of, okay, I know what to do. But for now, continue having faith in those goals or dreams and revisit them, rewrite them, or reconsider them. That's what I'm hearing. So all those words that start with RE, reconsider, rewrite, review, that's what I'm hearing from another spirit guide of yours. And by the way, once I started to tune into all the registrants, I could feel all your spirit guides' fingers wanting to get into my tarot decks and pulling out all these cards. So there was a lot of energy when I was trying to select the cards. The last card that speaks about the energy that's coming forward is don't let your past hold you back. So I feel that I have channeled the message in here within the previous cards that speak about needing to release those old belief systems, heal your past life trauma, release any old cords and hooks from relationships and even to past companies that you worked at. Because when we have those old energetic ties, it does hold you back from moving forward. So keep those in mind there. The next thing that we're going to go into is all about the virtues. and the lessons you're learning at this time. Perhaps these could be closed when we meet. It's always nice to close lessons and release the people from teaching us those things again, because when we do that type of closure at a very deep level, then you don't have to learn those lessons again. You don't repeat those same behaviors or invite the same toxic people back in. So, what are you learning now? Or the lessons you're learning or closing going forward? So, when this card comes out, and I'm getting the chills as I'm holding this card, because this card is connecting quite powerfully with the previous card about having faith in your dreams and the prosperity lying ahead. When the going forward card pops out, it means that there are a lot of good things coming your way. You just need to keep that one foot stepping one at a time. Take those small baby steps, or a big step, or a huge leap of faith. That's what I'm hearing. The creators say. So some of you may need to do that. You may want to challenge yourself and take that massive step, that leap forward, whatever that may be, to achieve your goal or dream. But right now it's all about knowing how to go forward. It's not about knowing how to move forward. That's not what I'm hearing. There's a difference between moving forward and going forward. Moving forward is, okay, I'm still integrating and trying to learn the past lessons, and I'm trying to move forward at the same time. So with that moving forward energy, there's still old ties that are holding you down. But this card speaks about going forward. So all those old ties are now released from you. I feel this is going to be quite heavy, perhaps, on some of you, because a lot of work will be done at the DNA level. And I know I mentioned this in our live circle for the lunar eclipse last week, and I may have mentioned again in the integration reading for that particular circle. But when we do really deep healing work at the DNA level, what's happening is we're shifting the belief systems that we have inherited from our ancestors, and that changes the way we go forward. And when we shift things at the DNA level, it could be a lot energetically for the body. So again, a reminder to please take that time out for yourself. Take care of yourself. And in particular, after this solar eclipse circle, try not to have too much on your to-do list. Give your body that time to just rest and relax. It might be as simple as going to bed 20 minutes earlier. So this next card, what you are learning next, and what you're learning more of, I'm hearing, is about success. So this card speaks about the success that is coming to you. Also look into how your ancestors have defined success. What does that look like for them? And does that reflect who you are becoming as a person? Is a lot about how you define success very much influenced by the collective consciousness. And when we're so influenced by the collective consciousness's way of thinking and living or achieving success, it could get us all swept up into living up to the group thinking and not so much of our individualistic thinking. So what really resonates with you personally? What does success really look like for you? And what does success look like for you disregarding material success or anything else, any like financial success? What does success look and feel like for you day to day? We're all very different, so we're going to have different answers to that. I am hearing from the creator and also from all of your spirit guides that we're going to need to do some deep psychic journeying before we do the manifestation work. And what this psychic journey will involve is trying to define what success means to us. And I know a lot of you have journeyed with me before. In fact, I think all of you have journeyed with me before in circles and in your private sessions. So the creator is saying we could take you a little deeper and get the creator to bring forward your Akashic record and show you what it is that you are learning or defining your relationship to XYZ in this life. the next card that you're learning all about is Stand Still. So this card is talking about divine detours or pauses in your life. Some of you may be experiencing that at this moment because it could mean several things, and one of them is your body's possibly preparing for a certain energetic release for the solar eclipse. So perhaps there's some things that you are waiting on in your life. You're waiting a response from something, or you're waiting to do something and you don't know why you're procrastinating, perhaps. But that's because the universe and your spirit guides are wanting to just align things, but first they want you to prepare for the release that's going to happen in the circle and any other releases that the solar eclipse would bring into your life. So when you're feeling that pause, know that there's some energy building up. It's not that you're not doing enough, or perhaps this sense of pause or standstill might make you feel a little anxious. Don't be anxious. It's just the universe trying to say, well, hold up. Let's work on this energy flow right now, this eclipse season, and then do some release, healing work, integrate, and then now you could go forward. We're going on now into the other cards, which speak more about the relationships here. And these cards are more about the trauma that needs to be healed, blocks that need to be healed within the divine feminine, so your maternal line, or perhaps divine feminine aspects of yourself that are wounded. We're also going to talk about the divine masculine parts of you that may be wounded and need some healing, and perhaps anyone in your paternal line, patriarchal figures that have wounds and blocks. And then we're going to get into the shadow. So anything a little more, I won't say dark, but things that may have been simmering, whether in your past life or ancestral lines that have been so traumatic that it might have been silenced or kept secretive. And now is the time to release it. Let's get in now to the divine feminine cards and what needs to be healed there. I am being guided to just read out these storylines. So the first card, I regret lying to you. And I left when I saw you with someone, and you were the best thing in my life. These are relationship traumas, and there's a lot of regret and hurt and rejection. So those are the things that need some healing there. Do spend some time thinking of how these storylines apply to your own personal life. Was there one best thing that happened in your life, and perhaps your soul is so stuck on that, and they created a belief system that that best thing will never happen again. And that's how an abundance block and a block to love can happen, right? And we're going to go a much deeper, obviously, when we meet online, of how to acknowledge that, the lessons learned, and release it, either completely or parts of it, however way it's meant to happen when we meet. I am now being guided to go to the divine masculine wounds. And again, I am being guided to just read the storylines here, one right after the other. I wonder how you feel. I am recovering. I miss being with you. So there's this theme running through all these three cards of I'm feeling this void and I'm trying to recover, but I miss you. When those feelings are coming up within people who you've been with in the past that you're no longer connected with, or perhaps you're still in connection with, when they feel those things about you, they do cord right back into you, and that could prevent other people from coming into your life. It could also prevent more love or other forms of prosperity and abundance coming into their life, because they are so desperately hanging on to you. So we're going to definitely need to release a lot of those old, I'm hearing karmic contracts that need to be on a constant karmic loop. And what karmic loops are is where your soul has developed this belief system over many reincarnations, thinking I need to experience that over and over again every single time I am reborn so that I know what XYZ is like. So a common thing I've seen in a lot of my clients in regards to relationship blocks is I need to be hurt so I know what love really feels like, what true love really feels like. So there's this desire, this need to have this extreme polarity of feeling really loved but also feeling really hurt, so you could really appreciate when healthy love comes in. So I've seen a lot of interesting things. Of course, this is a group reading and a group healing, so take only what resonates with you, and what's meant to happen collectively for us will happen in that circle. And as you know, I always go a little off script, or the creator likes to go off script and do some bonus healing, so that would happen. And for those of you who are wondering what I mean by off script, before we meet online, I channel anywhere from 8 to 12 pages of all these healing releases and downloads that need to happen. And sometimes we go off that script. We go off trail, as I like to say. So we now spoke about the wounded feminine, the wounded masculine. I feel like those are all connected there, the storylines between those two energies. Now we're going to go into the trauma stories. What's really lying underneath all that? Sometimes I hear your voice. In that moment, I didn't care. We are more alike than I admit. So, of course, more chords and contracts to release here. I'm hearing again the best way to release this is to just jump off the deep end, right? Jump right into the deep end, like we did last time, I believe, where we started with the forgiveness work. That's huge, and I feel that would happen again this time also, because all of you are returning clients or students to the circle, so you are very much open to diving deep. And when we dive deep, the universe really shows up. So that's why I am reminding everyone again to go easy on yourself, allow that healing and integration to happen. So do take it easy the week after, or the entire week of that solar eclipse. So sometimes I hear your voice, again, cording into your energy, right? We are more alike than I admit. Same thing. In that moment, I didn't care. There are two energies coming through here from the ancestral lines that needs to be healed. One is, in that moment, I didn't care. Like that's your stuff, not mine. And it's very cold, and that was hurtful. We're going to need to heal that within the ancestral lines there, within the group. This card also has a different tone. In that moment, I didn't care, and I'm so sorry. So there's a feeling of regret there, and a feeling of accountability and also responsibility of putting that hurt on you, whereas the other school of ancestors are like, not my fault. So we're going to do some pretty deep healing work there in releasing those trauma and releasing those cords and hooks. So that was quite a lot, wasn't there, of the things that needs to be healed. So now we're going to get into messages of closure. And with these messages of closure here, these speak about the contracts that need to be closed, and some of these may be already repeated. If it's repeated, then that's the creator's way of saying this is really important to heal or release in the circle. So, I see all that you do for others. There is this acknowledgement here from this ancestor, and the people in your past who finally recognize who you truly are and what you really tried to offer them in that relationship that has ended. So there's this release that needs to happen between yourself and that person. So there's more of this clearing that happens within your heart chakra and your solar plexus. Them standing in this state of regret allows them again to just cord into your energy, and I could see a lot of that energy is holding, actually I'm hearing from the creator, holding all of you back and from moving forward and achieving those dreams and goals. Yes, other people's energies are very tricky, aren't they? So there's a couple things that we need to do based on that card. Allowing their acknowledgement of how they really see you and how they really appreciate you, truly appreciate you now, needs to be marked as received and accepted, learned, or completed, however you feel comfortable doing. Because I know not everyone is comfortable receiving something like that from someone who has hurt them in the past. So again, I like to leave it up to each and every one of you how you would like to receive it. Yes, I heard you is the next card. And this speaks about them saying, I now get you. And it's very similar to that first card. I see all that you do for others. So I see you, I hear you now, I get you. So let's close that and allow your soul to go forward. I'm about to laugh because we were talking about forgiveness work, right? Doing that first thing, doing that very deep dive at the beginning of the circle. So this last card says, please forgive yourself. That's a lot of heavy work. And I'm not sure if the microphone caught it, but a house is actually currently being demolished. And this house is next to my place. And so it's interesting that there's some sort of release that needs to happen and a rebuild that needs to happen from the solar eclipse. Very much how this house is being torn down and something new and more modern being created. But that cannot be done without doing some forgiveness work. So do think of ways you may need to forgive yourself. If you feel that you should have left a relationship earlier and you stayed too long, perhaps you are kicking yourself for staying too long in that toxic relationship. That's an opportunity there to forgive yourself. Or perhaps staying in a toxic work environment for way longer than you should have. I've been there. I used to be in the corporate world. So now we're going to move on to the final cards here. And these cards speak about any other guidances or tips that the Creator wants to give you. Protection. Call back your power. Cut the cords. Soul retrieval. So we did speak about cutting those cords, releasing the people from teaching you those same negative things again, from your contracts. And by doing that, you are calling back your power. But in addition to cutting the cords, we also need to do soul retrieval. So calling back your soul parts, fragments, and life force energy that you have given away to others because you have invested so much into them. And by calling those back, you might feel more whole again and powerful enough to go forward. Just a reminder, I don't do cord cutting because that's like cutting a string, and that string, that cord, could tie itself back again. What's more powerful is a cord release and cancellation right at the core of where it's rooted or hooked into you and into the other person. And on top of that, we need to do other layers of healing that were mentioned in this reading. So some of you may really feel a lot in the gut. I've had quite a few clients and students tell me that right before a private session or a class or a circle, they started to feel a little bit nauseous or sick. That's your soul's way of saying, hey, we're going to purge a lot of stuff today. So if you are feeling that, know that it's normal. especially right before a healing is to happen. Oh, remember that the creator spoke about taking that leap of faith. So this card says leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. So what is the leap that you need to take? And maybe you won't know until after the healing circle and after the integration has completed itself. But for now, you might want to think about, where are you afraid to make changes and why? Because those are, again, abundance blocks rooted in fear. Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided, so do know that. I'm hearing the creators say they are going to start to send different sorts of signs, synchronicities, and symbols to a lot of you. So pay attention. That is how you will be guided throughout this time. And whatever those signs or synchronicities or omens are, they do hint at what needs to be healed. They will also hint at the direction that you need to go in. So if something really stands out to you, let's say a word in a shop's sign, tune into that word, or tune into the energy that word is buzzing, and ask your spirit guides, what is it that you're trying to tell me? Because you're making me really pay attention to that. And send me more signs so that I could start creating this story of the message that you are really wanting to communicate to me. So do write those signs down or synchronicities down. They're all trying to tell you something. So I really look forward to channeling this healing circle, and I cannot wait to dive deep. So I will see you all very, very soon. Have a good week.